They know what they did was wrong and didn't care. As long as it was you and not them, they were not concerned. They didn't have a problem doing you dirty because it wasn't them. People don't care if they do someone wrong and that person has to go through some trouble because of it. That person has to suffer because of it. Their whole life is changed, altered in some kind of way, turned upside down. They have to deal with whatever the consequences are, as they should. But for someone else to purposely have a hand in that, only reason they did it was because it wasn't them. People don't want something to happen to them. Nobody wants something to happen to them. I don't want anything to happen to me. I know you don't want anything to happen to you, but there are just people who don't care. And that's cool. There are people that could care less about what happens to somebody else as long as they're not the one it's happening to. And you have to make sure that you are not in contact with anyone like that. And it's not easy to know at first, but once you go through something like that, once you have someone do you some kind of way and unfortunate experience, you'll be the type of person that will do their best to make sure that it doesn't happen again. They know what they did was not right. They know what they did was evil. All right. People have a good idea of what their plans are when it comes to dealing with folks. Everybody has a plan in mind. Everyone has a plan in mind. They all do. Everybody's got a plan in mind. People know that they're either going to deal with you one way or they're going to deal with you another way. People aren't slow. People don't just randomly get the idea to be bad all of a sudden. I was this good person, but you know what? I'm going to be an awful person to you now. People were awful from the get-go, and they were just waiting. They were just waiting for you to displease them. They thought that you would be what they wanted or who they wanted. But soon as you started to get out of control, aka do what was in your best interest, or as soon as you started to show signs of being yourself and not catering to them, they was going to have a problem with it. But they already had a problem with you before, prior to that. They were just hiding it. People who do you wrong that are hiding it at first, they're just waiting. They're just waiting for the opportunity for them to show who they really are. They're just waiting. Whether they're actually waiting for it or not, that side of them is waiting for you. All right, whether this person is like waiting, looking at their watch kind of thing, like I'm going to switch in 5, 4. Some of them do that, but then you have ones that they're just projecting a false image. They're just being a snake, and that's okay. It's okay for people to be who they want. Somebody wants to be a snake. You can't change that about them. You can't make them not be a snake. Can't make them not be evil. But they know what they did was wrong. They know what they did was wrong. They people know better. People know right from wrong. They make a conscious decision and a conscious choice to do what's wrong. We've done wrong before. Everybody's done wrong before. You people who say that they do something wrong and then they didn't know that was wrong, just lying, not being honest with themselves, which is the worst person that you could lie to at the end of the day, because you're not keeping it real with yourself, which is going to stunt your growth, which is going to keep you held back and not allow you to move forward. There might be some noise in a few minutes. Just bear with me. They weren't concerned. And the worst kind of people that you could be around are people who don't have a concern for others. Now, it's unfortunate. I told you there's going to be some noise. It's unfortunate that they will call certain people selfish and say they don't have a concern for others. Like, oh, you're all about yourself. You're this and that. You're supposed to be selfish. You're supposed to be all about yourself. But I guarantee the type of person that you are isn't causing harm to anyone else because of who you are. Your selfishness is only going to help you and potentially even help some other people when you get into position. But the type of selfishness that they have is only to cause damage to somebody. It's only to try to inflict pain on someone because that's their MO. That's what they choose to do. That's the type of person they're choosing to be. Their type of selfish, it doesn't even help them in the long run. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help them. It doesn't help the people that they're dealing with. Their type of selfishness is short lived. It's not creating opportunities for them. It's not making them better. It's not helping them or their situation. It's just making them have more negative energy. It's turning them more into someone that's going to have bad karma. That's all it is. It's just bringing them more negative energy and it's bringing them more karma for being this kind of person. That's all it's doing. And unfortunately, that's on them. They're going to have to be the one to deal with that. So, just like they didn't have a concern for you, just like they thought it was cool to not be right, not do right by you, they thought it was cool to go behind your back and do certain things and talk about you and show one side of you and then to other people show a different side. That's on them. That's nothing that you have control over. You have control over getting over it. You want to be able to get over those kinds of things. You want to be able to move past those kinds of things and not carry those things or those people with you into the present moment, as hard as it may seem. When people do wrong by you, it kind of stays with you for a little bit. And it's not as easy to move on sometimes in certain situations. People make it, people kind of make it hard. And we kind of make it hard when people do things that we don't necessarily like, when we don't expect things, when people do us wrong. But when you look back and examine, when you look back and examine the whole situation, you could look back and say this person knew what they were doing. This person was just acting. This was the same type of person they were in the beginning. Is the same type of person that they're going to be in the end. They may have been hiding it and not showing this side, but that's who they are. This is who I saw towards the end. But they were this all along. They were that all along. People do a good job at hiding certain things in them so that they can get certain things from people. They can gain your trust. It's what they love to do, try to gain your trust. and get you to feel comfortable. And then once you're no longer someone that they're concerned about, or the little bit of care, the little bit of care they had for you for whatever reason they were going to benefit off you for goes out the window, so does you go out the window along with that. You go right out along, jumping out the window with this one, like Ron Brown's. You just out the window. But as long as it wasn't them, they don't care what happens to you or anybody else. People like that, they always end up in a bad situation. People like that, they always end up getting theirs back, plus some. It's like they just can't stay out of those type of situations. There's some people that, you don't have to be Mother Teresa to people, but you don't have to be a bad person. You don't have to be like a devil to people either. So it's just because you're not like Mother Teresa, you're not this super huge caring, person or whatever, doesn't mean that bad things are going to happen to you. But when you cause something to happen to someone else and you have no care in the world about what they have to go through because of that, you should pretty much expect the same thing. You should just be sitting there waiting and be ready for the same thing to happen to you. So, they might as well prepare for as much good as they can. They might as well prepare for the best that they can. They might as well expect as much of the best that they can, because as long as you continue to be one of those kinds of people, you don't have much to expect as far as you not getting that back. You're going to receive back everything. The universe is in that shape for a reason. It goes in a like a figure eight continuously. Goes in, comes out, goes in, comes out, goes in, comes out. Things that you're putting out are going to come back in. That's just the way that's just the way the system works, of checks and balances. It's just the way this works. So when you don't show empathy towards others, but have the audacity to show the total opposite, that's what you can expect, the total opposite shown to you. You shouldn't expect anything other than what you put out. People know what they do. They know it's not right. They know they shouldn't have done that. They know they had no business doing that. They know that they wouldn't want that to happen to them, but they're okay doing it to others. And they want to be dangerous to people like that. They want to have negative effects on people like that. That's their choice. That's their business. But in the long run, it's not going to work out well for them, because something similar is going to happen to them when they least expect it. They're going to think everything's all good, just like you did. They're going to think everything's all go. Everything's about to just line up and work out just like you did. And then there's going to be someone putting on some kind of act, putting on some kind of fake smile, putting on some kind of facade for them, some type of act for them. And they're not going to be able to see it. They're going to be so focused on the good that they are trying to get accomplished, the goal that they want to see accomplished, the little vision that they got, and things aren't going to go their way. All that hope that they had, that dream they had, what they wanted to do, what they saw for themselves, it's going to get crushed. And it's going to strike when they least expect it. Could be a year from now. Might be some time in between that thing. They might have even think that, you know, they might not even be thinking about you anymore, or they might not even remember what they did to you. See, a lot of these people, they don't have good memories. They're doing so many people dirty and trying to forget so much stuff. They just, so many people wrapped up in the little thing that they got going on, their little toxic world. They don't even remember. They do this one dirty, that one dirty. They just do people dirty. That's them. That's their thing. Some people are like that. You got some people that want to do as much good as they can, and then you have others who want to do as much dirt as they can. Some people just are not concerned about others like that, because they're like, yo, if it's not happening to me, I get away scot free. That's how they see it. If it's not happening to me, I get away scot free. And the devil will let you the devil will let you feel like that. God will let you get away clean with some of the things that you do wrong. Of course, he'll let you get away clean. He'll let you. He'll fool you into thinking that nothing's going to happen to you. We got that off. You sure did. You got that off all right. See, when people care less about other people, it says a lot about who they are and where they're going. It's like, yo, you do not want to be one of those kinds of people. You do not want to end up in that person's shoes when the karma hit. You do not want to be in that person's shoes when the checks get bounced. You don't want to be that person. They think it's all good to be them now. Person who gets away with everything. Person who is quote unquote smart. Getting over on non-suspecting people, getting over on other people, thinking that they're slick and smart. They got some kind of evil genius thing going on that allows them to uh, fool or trick other people into thinking that they're an okay person until they find out it's too late. People know that they have bad intentions. They know that they don't have good intentions. And deep down inside, they know that you are not the type of person they should be dealing with, and vice versa. They know that you shouldn't be dealing with them, and they shouldn't be dealing with you. They know you're not the type of person that should be around them. It's like they just like that control thing. They like being in control of people and having people around them and having non-suspecting people around them. They get a thrill. It's like some evil landlord or something. Cut your lights off, cut your water off. It's like they have a strong, they get a sense of strength from being in that much power and that much control over people. But sidebar, nobody could cut you off unless they can cut this off, and they're not cutting that off. Thank God for that. But they are powerholics. They're tripping over the amount of power that they get over people. It's the only thing that makes them feel big. It's the only thing that makes them feel big. They probably have some type of, well, not probably, but they have some type of inferiority complex where they need to control situations and they need to control people. They're not in control of the situation, they get their little attitude. They can't control you, they get their little attitude. Don't be swayed by these people's attitudes or that negative energy. If you have to, give it to them right back. And if you have to evacuate the situation, if you got to leave, you got to dip, do that too. But once you start seeing people, but always, I'll say this, you obviously know that if you have to defend yourself and that situation occurs, then whatever, they're gonna slip, fall, and break it all. Cause there's so many angels around you, and there's so much protection around you that nothing's gonna happen to you. But when you see people start to get out of pocket, or you start to see people show aggression or violence, I would just leave. If it's nothing that you have to defend yourself for, yet it could possibly turn into that. So don't stick around for that. Every time you see people start to act like something that you don't want to be around, or someone that you wouldn't want to be around, or you see something in them that you wouldn't, they're acting a way towards you that you wouldn't act towards them, leave. Leave. All right, how they act is like, however someone acts is going to be some actions that shortly come behind that with that same type of energy. So just leave. These people know something wrong with them, and they want to try to act like that towards you because they see how you're portraying yourself. They see how you're acting. They see how you're behaving, and they think that they can act like that towards you. But so you don't have to change or anything like that. Since you don't have to, since you don't want to have to do anything you don't want to have to do, because that could cause you some type of trouble or something, I'll just leave. People aren't worth it. Don't let people put you in a bad situation that you don't have to be in, or that you shouldn't have been in the first place. You see people start to change up, that means it's time to go. Red flag, I'm out. I'm not getting like this unless I have to. Red flag, I'm out. You got it. You got it. Oh, okay. That's how you want to be. Cool, cool, cool. All right, let me just grab my stuff and go. I'm out. Peace. Okay. I'll find someplace else to work. Cool. I'll whatever. Whether you gotta find a new place to work, new friends, new whatever. All right, maybe you at the barbershop, maybe you at the nail salon, whatever. Ladies getting your little whatever done, fellas getting sharp, getting fly, whatever. It's not worth it. They know what they did was wrong, and they don't care as long as it's not them. And a lot of people know how these people are, enablers. A lot of people know how people are, and when you just have favor over your life, and they see God working with you, you'll have a lot of secret enemies in one room. That's why it's good to be by yourself sometimes, because you'll have a lot of secret enemies in one room. You think it's one person got a problem with you and everybody else is all right? Bam, bam. Most of the time, it's a lot of people in one room that don't even like you. Like, you got to really soul search and really dig deep and thoroughly evaluate people that you put yourself around. And that's the golden nugget in this message. Thoroughly evaluate people. Don't just put yourself around them. Don't just buddy up with people. Don't just become friends with people that easily. Like, when you have favor over your life, people are going to want to do you dirty. People are going to want to do you in some kind of way, because it's not them. It's like Joseph and his brothers when he had that dream and they threw him in a pit because he had a nice coat and he could see all these dreams and stuff. Joseph had that type of favor amongst people, amongst men. So his brothers was jealous of him and they threw him in a pit. Nowadays, your brothers could be your friend. They could be actual brothers, but your brothers will most likely be the people that you're around. They'll be your friends, your homies, your buddies. They see that you have this favor over your life. They start feeling some type of way towards you. It's not them. There's always the one that's the worst. And just because everybody else is not acting like that one that's the worst doesn't mean the other ones are for you. So just thoroughly evaluate people. That's the message of this video. Thoroughly evaluate people. So that way you won't have to be around anybody who will come up with any inclination or any idea to do you wrong. Because when you have that favor, when you have that divine power within you, all right, when you have that God's divine hand over your life, people not gonna like you for long. They'll have you come around them, see what you're about, see what they could benefit off you for, see how they could use you. And then once you're not giving them what they want in some kind of way, boom, that's when the bad stuff will start to happen, because they see that it's no benefit for them. Whatever they brought you around for, they're not getting it. They're not able to do whatever they had planned because you're too protected. So now it's like only thing else they could do is just get weird, and you want to leave before that happens. First sign people get weird, that's a sign. Red flag, time to go. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Smash the like button, smash the share button, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. We out.